Black Desert on console will get more improvements and a remaster for newer generation consoles.
More improvements. It's important to be vague when it comes to consoles so that you keep them in the dark. It's very important that they have no idea what's coming so that they can live on the copium that they're eventually going to get Mountain of Eternal Winter, which has still not been released on console after 4 years. So we have the Pearl Abyss Q1 earnings report. This is an Anders video. We haven't watched an Anders video in a while. If you guys don't know who Anders is, he makes some really goated updates. Like he gives us, he's basically a news channel, and he also has some really good guides too. He's an excellent editor. Yeah, bless his voice is like, women have been swooning over the Anders voice for years. It's crazy, bro.
And today we're going to go over the Q1 earnings release for Pearl Abyss. It's always good to look at these releases to gauge how the company is doing and get an idea of what they have in store for the future. That said, I think I've listened to most of these quarterly earnings calls for Pearl Abyss and other companies for the past few years.
Last time, guys, we were not doing so well. I'm going to be honest with you. Pearl Abyss stock. Last time it was, oh god, oh dear. Oh no, it's only one day. We're good. You bring this out 1 year, easy P off me. All right, yeah, we're on the uptrend. We're good, guys. It's not dead yet. It's fine. It's fine. We're on the uptrend. Sure, we're still at the lowest we've been at in over a year, but that's fine. That's not technically true. We were lower about a month ago. We're doing fine. We're on the uptrend, and we're about to hit the Heidel ball. Time to sell. No. This is time. No. We're buying right now. We're still buyers, right? The Heidel ball is going to come out. It's going to spike. Okay. Honestly, you want to sell when the Crimson Desert gets. When Crimson Desert gets announced, that's when you sell.
We're actually going to be talking about NCSoft in another video, but in these calls, statements are always made precisely to reflect what we see on the report. It is not. Is
that Doke V, bro? What?
Going to be a negative outlook, of course.
Guys, we heard you love Shy so much that we literally put them in their own game.
Of course, even if they lose money, no investor wants to hear the company's CFO saying they had a net loss this quarter because they were incompetent.
That's what happened the last like 2 times.
That's not going to happen. That doesn't inspire confidence, so you don't tend to see that.
Crimson Desert might just be game of the year when it comes out, guys. I know I sound like I'm like the narc of Crimson Desert, right? And if you guys don't know who narc is, he's that content creator that makes those Ashes of Creation video. His entire YouTube channel is based on making content for a game that hasn't been released yet. Look at this shit. Ashes of Creation, Ashes of Creation. I don't understand how he does. He's got 4 videos in the last 2 weeks. He's got 5 videos about a game that literally hasn't released. It's insane. I mean, how many different ways do you say this is a scam before it? Anyway, that's me, but for Crimson Desert.
And as a result, you get a lot of the same old sentiments, a lot of the same old statements, every single call. You kind of know what they're going to say. However, this was an interesting call. Earnings are down slightly year over year for Pearl Abyss and up since last quarter. Revenue from their mobile...
It's tough to go down since last quarter, I'm gonna be honest.
Has been looking good, but they didn't give us a breakdown to see which games are pulling most of their weight. So
yeah, I'd love to see how much revenue that the mobile game actually pulls, because I don't know, man. If you're gonna spend money, typically people just drop a lot of money on that mobile game because everybody's got a cell phone.
We are going to be assuming that it is their main IP, Black Desert on PC, Black Desert on console, and Black Desert mobile.
Plus, it looks really good.
We know they own an Eve mobile game, and we know that they also have a subsidiary company that released Black Clover M, which from what I hear ended up being a decent game. They also announced a new game in the Eve IP called Project Awakening. This has been revealed before in GDC. It is a blockchain technology game. Personally, when I hear blockchain, I kind of tune that out. I just don't see the...
What is a blockchain technology game? I don't even know what the hell that means, bro. Video games include elements that use blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies and not NFTs. I've read enough.
And I really don't think players want that in 2024. A lot of people also hear blockchain and think, okay, that's cryptocurrency.
Well, guys, hold on. Would it help you to know that it's endorsed by Logan Paul?
Stuff, right? And crypto isn't as popular as it used to be. That said, this isn't necessarily a crypto game as far as I can tell. So once we know more about the game, I will cover it, let you guys know. But for now, it is entering.
You just not actually endorse it. I was a joke, just to be clear.
Starting May 21, that you can sign up for if you are at least a little bit interested in what the Eve developers have been working on.
Cryptocurrency, NFTs, they're all a scam. I'm good. Like I get scammed enough out of my demo attempts.
Total revenue is again just 5% of overall revenue for Prolibus, which is not surprising. I think their focus on having their new generation games like Crimson Desert, DokeV being on console at launch is an attempt to bolster their console revenue, their console.
I think DokeV being on console's a W. That's just easy, bro. You definitely do that. I think they jumped way too fast to put Black Desert on console.
Audience as well. Those games with their new engines are supposed to be developed in a way that current generation consoles
I love how he just heats him off the wagon, bro.
Running the game and not have multiple issues or limitations like Black Desert currently has on console. Operating costs went up due to salary increases and more staff hires in the company. Profit.
Yeah, this probably has to do a lot with the movement to central servers and stuff. Like they had to hire a bunch of people in Chicago to manage the servers and stuff. I'm actually curious if they're going to move their main office to Chicago instead of LA, because LA costs them way more money, I'm sure. Like the servers aren't there anymore, so yeah. They should move their headquarters from KR to NA. Well, no, that's not. It's a Korean company, so apparently, I've never been to their headquarters, but apparently the headquarters is like an 80-story building. It's a huge building, and like every floor is like luxury suite. I mean, guys, like they had to tone it back last year because they had to get rid of the gold-plated toilet paper.
Quarter over quarter has been positive, and for the rest of the year they're holding the Heidelball in France for the 10-year celebration.
I will be at the Heidelball in France if anybody is going to be there.
Desert on PC.
If you have any of my merch or anything, I'll sign it. But really, it's just going to be me signing a white shirt that just says same shirt.
It's going to have War of the Roses. That's going to be relaunched as an upgraded version of what we saw before, with changes reflecting user feedback. Part 2 of Land of the Morning Light will release and be showcased this summer. Black Desert on console will get more improvements and a remaster for newer generation console.
More improvements. It's important to be vague when it comes to consoles so that you keep them in the dark. It's very important that they have no idea what's coming so that they can live on the copium that they're eventually going to get Mountain of Eternal Winter, which is still not been released on console after 4 years.
Consoles. Black Desert Mobile will continue getting improvements. Black Desert is also coming to China this year, pending a license renewal. They said on the call they filled out all the paperwork, they sent it out, and now they're just waiting for confirmation.
A lot of the stuff that we've gotten in the game, guys, is because the game is releasing in China. All of the rolly boxes having like the RNG chances and the percent chances on them, this is all, we're assuming it just came out mainly because they have to release the game in China, and China requires you to have that stuff on there. Rare China W's, I know.
Seen some leaks as well of the censorship with the China version of the game. EVE Online will launch an expansion in June. EVE Vanguard is in the final months of testing and will continue to improve before launch. Project Awakening will continue getting beta tests until launch. EVE Galaxy Conquest,
this looks like Destiny, man,
is being improved to reflect user feedback and will launch in more regions in May. Crimson Desert will start full-scale marketing soon. They will have demos available for users at Gamescom this year. Sounds like they will also make the demo available to a wide range of audiences so as many people can try.
How about content creators? Will you allow your content creators to demo the game? On God, bro.
The game before it launches. They actually talked about DokeV for once. Development for that is accelerating now that Crimson Desert development is ending, but no further information has been provided on DokeV or even Plan 8, which is an MMO that was announced.
Plan 8 is not coming out for the next like 6 years. I'm just gonna say it. Doke V might release. Like, you're gonna get Crimson Desert, then they'll start working on Doke V. It'll probably be 2 years.
Years ago, Crimson Desert is again labeled as an open world single player RPG.
If we even
This
ever
is
get
what the
Planet.
game is, and they're sounding pretty confident about the game's success after initial feedback from.
I'm pretty confident about it too, having played absolutely 0 hours and seen gameplay footage that is meant to tease me. I'm confident that the game's gonna be awesome, guys.
Internal and closed door demos. The game is in the final stages of optimization and polish. They're aiming to focus on in-game content and fortifying the open world immersive feel. Marketing is supposed to end near the end of the year, so we can infer right now from that they're looking at the end of the year or Q1 2025 for a release of the game.
That's kind of big, guys. Yo, Q1 2025 release? Yo, you're huge. Never mind the fact that you watched this dude literally get rid of his horse with as much care as we see in Black Desert.
From that they're looking at the end of the year.
This is exactly what we do in BDO.
Or Q1 2025 for a release of the game. More than likely, the release of Crimson Desert will be in the first half of 2025. But again, this is just what they're alluding to. They have not and will not tell us.
I assume that it's going to be released on console too. Like, single player RPGs like this are typically... yeah, it'll be a PC release for sure, but I'm pretty sure they 100% were talking with Sony and Xbox. They were talking about making it a console exclusive, but I think that was kind of thrown out the door, and it's going to be a PC game too. Because if they made it a console exclusive, we would be pulling trucks up to PA headquarters for protesting.
A release date until probably Gamescom when they show off the demo. They mentioned console technical limitations and having to overdevelop to compensate for the aging console hardware as one of the reasons for delays. Preliminary feedback that they got from users in Korea who played the demo or a demo at G-Star says Crimson Desert is set to be one of the most ambitious and high quality games ever released by a Korean company, and that's pretty.
That's how I feel about it too. It's gonna be good. I need this.
High praise. They seem pretty confident, and from the gameplay trailer they released in the past, it does seem like the game has potential to be an amazing game. Doke V, as of what we know, was an online.
I think Doke V is gonna be really good. Doke V is gonna be really good too when it comes out in 2035.
Creature collection game, but we know next to nothing after that, and things could have changed drastically since we saw the initial gameplay videos. Plan 8 is an MMO shooter that we know very little about, so not much more to go on there. Like I said earlier, BDO is releasing in China this year if they can get the Chinese gaming license approved. This doesn't really affect you directly if you are a player right now of Black Desert, but this is a huge deal. China is a massive market, but it is also very strict about who gets to release games in their market, especially for Korean companies. Pearl Abyss has been lobbying to get Chinese market access for years. They managed to get a Chinese gaming license for Black Desert Mobile a few years ago, even gave them a exclusive class in Wukong, but Sino-Korean relations tend to be up and down depending on the year, so it really depends on the timing of things. China also had a gaming license freeze in the past few years, and even now, though they are lessening restrictions, it's going to be difficult for a foreign company to get one of these licenses. Pearl Abyss established relations with China and
I love how they got Wukong. The only people allowed to play Wukong are the mobile China users. You can't even play it on any PC game worldwide.
Chinese gaming publisher for the release of Black Desert Online back in 2018, believe it or not. So that's a long time ago. That's a long-term negotiation they've been having. They feel pretty confident that the license will come through and they will be ready to launch the game in China with some success. The censorship I mentioned are things like Hex Sanctuary, which is typically a skeleton area, will not be skeletons anymore. Any blood that appeared in the game will not appear in red, for example. Typical changes you see when games get released in China. We'll see how the game does when it releases there.
That's interesting.
BDO is still Pearl Abyss's top contributing IP, with North America and European regions bringing in the bulk of the revenue for the company.
You're goddamn right we are. Although this is down from last time. Yeah, so like in Q4 of 2023, just NA and EU guys make up 60% or close to 60% of their overall revenue. Just North America and EU. Mainly North America. And it's down. Guys, I'm kind of proud of you guys. I'm kind of proud of you guys. Because, like, we got really upset for a while. And we were like, guys, The trick is to just not spend money on the game. And we spent 7% is kind of a lot, or 6% is a lot, is a massive dip in revenue. So like that would be the reason that they started listening to us. I would expect that number to go back up now that the Western audience feels a little bit better for sure.
Companies.
What if the other regions spent more? Do you think that like out of nowhere that they just suddenly, like you realize that their overall revenue is down? Okay. And our contribution is down by 6%. Gee, I wonder where they lost the money. Okay. Like, do you think that suddenly Korea just hatched about, 15 million more people and they all decided to play BDO and spent money on the game? No. It's basically the same every year, 22, 20, 20, 20, 22, right? Like it's the same every time, right? But like, this is like the big change right here. 55, 57, 53 is kind of a dip, up to 59 again, and then back down to 53. That's kind of a big dip, guys.
Though we did see a drop of how much of their revenue is coming from the West in the last quarter, at least. For EVE Online, CCP was bought out years ago by Pearl Abyss. The game is now something like 20 years in service, something crazy like that. And despite them having no content releases in the last quarter, they produced a stable revenue regardless. It looks like Pearl Abyss are heavily invested in the success of Crimson Desert. And if the game releases and does well, I think good things are coming. But if it doesn't do well, after so many years of waiting and delays, I don't know what they're gonna do. BDO is
I think that Crimson Desert is gonna do well. Having seen like the gameplay footage and like all that stuff, there's no way that game doesn't do super well.
Not going to be around forever. I think they've been lucky. Similar MMOs have not existed or launched, or if they have launched, they've been terrible. But that could change. Who knows? I don't think they can just expect BDO to carry them in the future. But that's my opinion, and that's all the relevant information from the Q1 earnings call from Pearl Abyss. Let me know your thoughts on Crimson Desert. Are you still excited for the game? Project Awakening being a blockchain game, do you think that's something you would want to...
Yeah, that's a scam.
Try? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one.
Thank God for Anderson. Here's the video right here, guys. Yeah, block scam indeed. Yeah. Go interact with it. Andrew's one of our best YouTubers for sure. This video was released 5 days ago, so again, it's the quarterly earnings report here. Yeah, we're definitely very excited about Crimson Desert. But and assuming he's correct and like marketing begins in like a few months and then it releases in Q1 or either at the end of this year or the early next year, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. And then the BDO engine update comes next, guys. I need this.